Some of you want to get in a little later. If this takes forever, you won't get in. Nigel Farage.
Thank you.
Farage.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To date, so far this year, 10,000 young, undocumented males have illegally crossed the English Channel into our country, a 40% increase on this time last year, many coming from cultures that are somewhat alien to ours. They are being housed at a cost of many billions of pounds a year in hotels and increasingly in private rented homes. The effect on communities is one of a sense of deep unfairness, actually bordering on resentment. In Runcorn alone, there are 750 of these young men. Just in Runcorn. Is it not time to admit that Smash the Gangs was nothing more than an election slogan and not a policy? And isn't it time to declare a national emergency and to act accordingly?
In a shocking twist that has left Britain gasping for breath, the UK Supreme Court has just done the unthinkable. It has forced Prime Minister Keir Starmer to resign after a jaw-dropping financial scandal that has rocked the entire nation, marking what many now call the most explosive political scandal of the century. A scandal so severe it threatens not just one man's career but the entire stability of the government itself, leaving Parliament in total meltdown, protesters flooding the streets, and the British people witnessing an unprecedented collapse in ministerial integrity unlike anything seen before.
This is an unprecedented turn of events, a political earthquake so powerful that it has shaken the very foundations of Britain's democracy, sending shockwaves across the nation and throwing Parliament into utter chaos as the Supreme Court, in a staggering 124-page verdict, declared Prime Minister Keir Starmer guilty of breaching ministerial code, committing financial misconduct, and deliberately deceiving the public, exposing a murky web of deception, greed, and ethical failure. That has now erupted into full public view, and at the centre of this catastrophe is a suspicious £124,000 discrepancy tied to the undervaluation of a property linked to Starmer's family, a transaction that was initially brushed aside as nothing more than a routine technical error, but later uncovered by relentless independent auditors to be a deliberate undervaluation intended to sidestep financial disclosures and avoid reporting significant gains, a move which violated strict parliamentary rules requiring full transparency. But this was merely the tip of the iceberg as further digging unveiled even more damning evidence, including £39,000 worth of undisclosed luxury gifts from legal donors, secret offshore accounts tucked away in Jersey and the Cayman Islands, and eye-watering luxury trips masked as so-called research travels, each layer revealing a clear and disturbing pattern of concealment and ethical misconduct that paints a devastating picture of a Prime Minister who not only broke the rules but went to extreme lengths to cover his tracks. And with this scandal spiraling out of control, the Supreme Court's judgment was brutally clear. Keir Starmer had grossly failed the ethical standards expected of his high office. He misled Parliament and the public, shredded the ministerial code, and obliterated the very foundations of government. Accountability, leaving Britain teetering on the brink of a constitutional reckoning, with the court now demanding his immediate resignation in what has become a legal order impossible to ignore. But inside Number 10, desperation is setting in as aides scramble to mount a last-ditch defence. Yet their efforts seem futile as the political storm intensifies, with Conservative MPs now loudly calling for an emergency vote of no confidence, Reform UK leader Nigel Farage stoking the flames by demanding an immediate general election, and even Labour's own ranks threatening to implode as senior shadow ministers warn they will resign unless Starmer steps aside, one furious cabinet source even admitting off the record that if he refuses to go, he'll drag the entire Labour Party down with him. And outside the corridors of power, Britain's streets are erupting with fury as protests swell. Across London, Manchester and Glasgow, thousands chanting in unison "Resign now" and demanding clean politics for Britain, with social media erupting in a frenzy under viral hashtags like #StarmerScandal, #PMResign and #JusticeForBritain, and even the usually restrained BBC alongside The Guardian and The Telegraph are now openly calling for accountability. But despite this political inferno, Keir Starmer remains defiantly silent,
offering neither apology nor resignation, instead retreating behind closed doors, in a defensive posture, reportedly refusing to accept any wrongdoing as he plots survival strategies with his inner circle. Yet his silence is only inflaming public rage further, fueling speculation that this scandal could escalate beyond politics into a full-blown national security threat, as MI5 and the Cabinet Office have now launched their own investigations into potential foreign influence after links were discovered between the undeclared donations and international legal consortiums with vested interests in UK policies, with intelligence agencies currently poring over encrypted communications, offshore financial records, and secretive campaign dealings. And if these allegations are confirmed, this could explode into the gravest national security crisis in recent history, dragging Britain deeper into the abyss. Meanwhile, polls paint a brutal picture, with an overwhelming 72% of Britons now demanding Starmer's immediate resignation, shockingly including nearly half of Labour voters, and in the streets the protests are growing louder and more dramatic, with demonstrators staging mock trials and demanding justice in city squares across the country, while political opponents waste no time pouncing on the crisis, with Rishi Sunak delivering a scathing demand for a general election and Nigel Farage warning of mass protests and civil unrest if Starmer refuses to resign. And within Labour itself, panic has morphed into pure paralysis as reports surface of Angela Rayner secretly exploring interim leadership plans, while leaked WhatsApp messages reveal utter chaos among top officials admitting they have no plan, no strategy, and no unity. And even Labour's core allies, such as Unite the Union, are now publicly turning their backs on Starmer, calling for complete accountability and drastic action. And the crisis has now spilled far beyond Britain's borders, as the US State Department releases a sharp statement urging Britain to uphold the rule of law, while EU leaders freeze critical trade talks amidst the deepening instability, rattling foreign investors and damaging the UK's international attacks on Starmer, calling for complete accountability and drastic action. And the crisis has now spilled far beyond Britain's borders, as the US State Department releases a sharp statement urging Britain to uphold the rule of law, while EU leaders freeze critical trade talks amidst the deepening instability, rattling foreign investors and damaging the UK's international reputation as a beacon of democracy and legal integrity, with former Supreme Court President Lord David Neuberger bluntly warning that there can be no negotiation with the rule of law, and that any Prime Minister who defies a lawful court order instantly forfeits all legitimacy, a chilling message that underlines just how historically unprecedented this moment truly is, because never before in modern British history has a sitting Prime Minister faced such unified public fury, bipartisan political condemnation, and an unrelenting judicial rebuke all at once. And now Keir Starmer's entire future hangs by a thread, as his silence, once perceived as calmness under pressure, is now widely seen as cowardice and a dangerous refusal to face reality, with what started as a hidden £124,000 discrepancy now threatening to completely unravel not just his career, but Britain's entire political landscape. As the judiciary has now spoken, Parliament is breaking apart, and public trust has completely collapsed, proving that this is no longer a simple political scandal. It is a full-scale constitutional reckoning, and Britain now stands at a historic crossroads as Starmer faces a brutal choice: either leave with what little dignity remains, or be forcibly removed by the very democratic systems he once vowed to protect. But whichever path he takes, one thing is clear: this nation will never be the same again after this seismic scandal that has changed British politics forever. This was today's breaking news update, and we want to make it absolutely clear that we do not spread misinformation. Our only goal is to deliver the truth and verified facts directly to you. And if you found this video informative, please like it, share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on this historic political crisis. Ask ChatGPT.